to All Things Marvel here on the Mish and Zach Podcast today with very, very special guest, ultimate dork, or is he a nerd? It's Nick Mason. We'll see you in the episode. It's a bit of fun.
Mish and Zach.
Hello and welcome to the Mish and Zach Podcast. I've got an iced latte, so I'm ready to fucking go. I'm Zach. I'm joined, as always, by Mish Widtrup.
Hello. I have an old one. An old iced latte, but it had pistachio in it. It was $10.
$10.
Wow.
And we are joined by friend of the podcast, our resident...
Go on.
Big fucking dork.
Thanks, man.
Dork.
Big dork. A
I
big
think
dingus.
we've reclaimed nerd. Time to go for dork
Yeah,
now.
that's right.
I'm ready to bring back dork.
Yeah.
Like dork culture. You can have your nerd culture. It's to become too mainstream. Now we're going to be dorks.
What?
Nick Mason.
Hello, everybody.
From the
It's great
Weekly
to be here.
Planet.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Hello.
Thank you. What delineates dork from nerd, do you think?
I love these chats.
That's the perfect chat. Wow. Okay. Good. Yeah. I got
Way to go straight into it there,
That's
Tramboy.
Shit. I gotta think.
Okay, so I think, and
Yeah.
this is, I called you a dork with jest, right?
Thank
So
you.
please don't with what I'm about to say here. And also what I'm about to say, I've thought about for all of 10 seconds. So we can unpack.
And also, I think this would also represent, I think, my listeners to my podcast, The Weekly Planet. So anything you're saying to me, I think incorporates them as well.
Of course.
I just need you. It's not like we've got like the coolest fuck boys and girls listening.
I'm under the impression that the people who listen to the Mish and Zach podcast are cool fuck boys.
Oh, yeah.
No, I think that nerds now,
Yeah, are we
all
going
very
now?
different
Are we
10
going
years
now,
ago.
Or?
I think so now,
Let's
yeah.
go now.
Nerds are cool. Nerds are smart. Nerds know stuff about stuff. Dorks are losers.
Oh, yeah?
No, but dorks are kind of like, to me, a dork is one of those people that constantly finds themselves in awkward situations that they've created.
Okay.
Dork talks about social standing more than nerd does in this day.
Yeah, I also think when I think dork, I think also someone who's physically awkward.
Yeah.
Like they'd get stuck on the stairs. for
Yeah.
example.
They get nookies. Here's what I think about dorks. Here's the good thing about dorks. Dorks are sweet.
Yeah.
Nerds will make any woman of colour involved in the Star Wars films delete their social media
Understand,
accounts.
yes.
Okay. See, to me, nerds can be intimidating. There isn't anything intimidating about a dork.
I don't think dorks are doing the campaign. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Toxic fandom, that's the nerds.
That's the nerds.
But nerds also, $1 billion, we love nerds.
They were. I don't know if they're coming out.
No, now they're 750 million.
Yeah, exactly.
And the cost of the movies are going up.
They're not
and
moving that needle as
Here's
much.
my question to you. You talk about comic book movies, comic books. You want to hear my hot take?
Oh, here we go.
Here's my
Mr.
hot take.
Cinephile, here we go.
Here's my hot
Sorry,
take.
cartoons are for fucking dorks.
No, here's my hot take. No, I'll talk to you. There's another thing I need to talk to you
Okay.
about. But here's my hot take. When they were like, what's the one? The Marvels.
Yes.
And then what was the other one that didn't do great? Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts
Asterix.
didn't do well, yeah.
And everyone was like, it had to make $1 billion on its $350 million budget. And everyone's talking about, no one's watching comic book movies anymore. And I look at that and I know that they've started talking about this. I go, why did we spend $350 million on that movie?
That's a great question.
Like Thunderbolts.
So do you think that was a nerdy decision?
Pardon me.
That is a step too far, Mish.
Have we moved on beyond the
Yeah, I've moved on from the nerd dog thing.
Okay.
I wanted to know what.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I also think that when I think nerd, I think an accumulation of knowledge, and I think there's two sort of tranches of nerd, and one is like, I've got all this knowledge, and if you need, I can impart that knowledge to you. But I think there's also another aspect of nerddom, which is like, I will sort of rote learn all of that, and then I'll sort of wield it as a weapon, and I'll beat you over the head with it. Like, oh, you didn't know what comic book that character debuted in. I guess you are a real casual. I guess you don't know anything about comic books or whatever it is. Where it's like, it's never been easier to just learn that stuff. Like, I don't think that has any value anymore because you can just go on Wikipedia and learn it. I don't need to keep that in my brain anymore because there's no need for for it. So you shouldn't act superior because you know what comic book this character appeared in.
Do you ever love, I mean, I think what you would have, because you're a very knowledgeable comic book guy.
And I've got this phone, don't I?
Yeah.
Put stuff up on it.
Do you ever, I imagine you have, because there's nothing I love more. This is my favourite nerd takedown, right? Because I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
And I'm a dork. So I'm coming from a place of, but we all agree there's the nerds we don't like.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think that when people bring down a dork or a nerd, by
Like a great beast of the plane.
yeah, by being a bully, who gives a shit?
Yeah,
Dork, not for me.
Of course.
But when a nerd is out nerded at their own game,
Oh,
Yeah.
so particularly when they get funny about, I love, nerds love a bit of a, this is why that casting is bad because of backstory.
Yeah, right.
They shouldn't have cast that person because this is that character's backstory. I imagine you have the tools and the equipment to be like, well, that was the backstory according to Chris Claremont, but that was actually a retcon, and actually, fuck you. Here's the evidence, and you're wrong. Fuck you, dork.
I don't get into as many public.
But do you, in your heart, do you have that power that you could use?
I
if
could
you
use it, but again,
you've got to not.
yeah.
But could you?
Yes, but I think also, excuse me. I think there's enough people on the internet who are willing to go into bat for that anyway. And also, a lot of the time when somebody does that, especially on your social media spaces, a lot of those people, they know they're wrong. Yeah. They actually have that information in their back pocket, but they put it out there because everything is engagement farming now. Everything is engagement bait. You pay a certain amount and then you'll get revenue back if people respond to this and say you're wrong. So they'll go, they've cast this person. Well, that's obviously incorrect, blah, blah, blah. And they know they'll get 1,000 replies
that
saying,
kind of rage baiting stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And they know they'll get their check for $15 at the end of the month or whatever it is. And so I'm... just, if you see that, just quietly mute and move on.
But in your heart, do you go, I could destroy
Yeah,
you?
of course I do. I'm always looking for opportunities to destroy.
I just think that's a great power to wield and to choose not to use.
Oh, I have a very clear multiple memories of my mum. If I ever said something like, I learnt this in history about, the French Revolution, my mum would be like, I don't think that's correct. I'm like, no, it actually is because Miss Scanlon told me so. And I'd be like, okay, cool. And then the next day she would have printed out.
Oh, great.
Oh, yeah,
some sort of information page about why that was wrong.
And she'd just leave it.
And she'd just leave it for me to be able to see. And nowadays, if I say something that's inaccurate, factual, not true, she'll just be like, oh, okay. And then 12 hours later, just send me a link to a website or something.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. She can out nerd.
Is this in the family group chat? Are you?
No, it's just me and her.
Okay,
and it never gets. I'm just like, thanks, and it never gets discussed. But she's been doing things very similar since I was 8. Fun fact as well. I was literally talking to her about this yesterday. Ever since I was a little kid, we would play board games, memory, ever since I was little. And she was really into backgammon. And she taught me how to play backgammon when I was very, very young. It's a fun game. It didn't matter where I was at in the game, how old I was, what I knew. She never let me win.
I think that's good.
I think so too, yeah.
Ever. No, I think, but
I would probably let a kid win from time to time.
I would.
But I do think it's good. I see a lot of kids that are, they win all the time.
My mum never, and she would tease me with the win. She knew that she could win, and she'd be like, oh, don't know how, and then she would just be like, bam, 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 and then take them all and just fucking leave.
Did you, were there other people you would play backgammon with and win against them?
Oh, I was very good at backgammon because I learnt from the master.
So this wasn't just you and your mum in an eternal battle where you never won ever a game of backgammon in your life. Okay, that's right.
I believe I have won, but I can't, but I stopped playing backgammon in my early teens because I was traumatized by how my mother played. Which was ruthless.
She was hoping for you to push through and become sort of the Queen's Gambit style backgammon.
Queen's Gambiting you.
Yeah, but backgammon was a delightful game, but I just think it was just in reminiscing about my mother. She would always fact check me and always never let me win backgammon.
That's great. So I'm going to bring it back to Thunderbolts.
Yeah,
Absolutely, yeah. Why do these movies cost $300 million?
I think we know it's the Marvel method. You
Yes.
start without a script.
Yes, that's exactly
You're going
right.
to spend a lot of money.
You-
But
yeah.
I also think, like, watching Thunderbolts, right, the best part of that film is,
The friendship.
and
The
what's her
depression.
name and what's his name? Stranger Things and...
Oh, no.
Stranger Things and Lady Macbeth.
Florence Pugh?
Florence Pugh
Florence, yes.
and
Who's Stranger Things?
David Harbour.
David Harbour, right?
Their relationship...
Family dynamic, yes.
Their family dynamic. Two wonderful actors. I think they're all great in that film, but those two are so wonderful and like engaging and like beautiful screen. Like they're both great actors.
Yeah.
Give them a bunch of great scenes. You don't have to do special effects on those scenes.
Well, that's true, but also I think because they have... It's not that they've trained the audiences to just expect kind of special effects bonanzas, but I think they've done that so many times that is part of the factory process now, is to just be like, well, I think if in 2010, 2011, something like that, they'd done a bunch of Marvel movies that did have kind of heartfelt scenes with characters interacting in a way that was fun, they would go, well, that works, and those made $500 million, $600 million. We can do that again, but I think they're afraid. They're like, well, we can't. We need at the end to be a giant laser shooting up into the sky or down into the ground, and they have to all fly around it and shoot at it. And what
Have you seen them all?
I've seen all the movies. There's a bunch of TV shows that are integrated into the Marvel universe, or they're like they've got Marvel characters and they exist in the periphery, but they don't really affect the Marvel universe.
Well,
as a
That,
whole.
I mean,
haven't
is
watched a bunch of
telling,
those.
isn't it? Isn't it that like that it got to a point where even someone whose job it is to watch
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
they like pushed it too far.
It's not even where you'll say to someone, "Oh, did you watch that one?" And they go, "I didn't see it. I didn't have time." You say, "Did you see Hellstrom?" And they're like, "What's that?"
What
or
is Hellstrom?
Hellstrom is
I don't know.
There's a Marvel character called Damon Hellstrom, and he's the son of Satan, and he got his own series.
His own
It's like a
series?
Lucifer style series, but it's just
Who plays this man?
I can't remember.
Was it on Disney Plus?
It is on Disney Plus now, I think.
But it was on one
It
of
was
the
on
other ones.
Freeform or something. There's
Okay,
This is the
so
thing.
you haven't watched those
No,
ones?
there's a Cloak and Dagger TV series.
Yeah.
They're now famous they're in Marvel Rivals, which is like an online game. There's a Runaway series about some kids who were the children of supervillains. That got one or two seasons. Nobody watched that.
Have you watched all the Disney Plus Marvel television Marvel? You
think
don't have
so.
to answer. You can plead the fifth.
I think so, but I'm not sure. There's no way for me to know.
Wow.
Because there was this run, in the last few years where instead of going, we should pump the brakes on this sort of stuff and see what really works and doesn't. They just like, let's put out 4 movies and 3 TV shows a year or 4 TV shows a year.
Crazy.
And it just became a mass. It just became a
Okay.
miasma blob.
Let's go to a quick ad break because I have a very important question to ask Nick.
Oh wow! Back.
And I'm going to ask after the break.
Oh, we're back from
Oh, we're
the
back?
break.
Hello. Okay, so I have a question about Marvel.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. I haven't seen any of them.
Okay.
Any?
Well, no.
I think we've
wait,
had this conversation.
Hold on.
I think we have this conversation every time you're on.
No. I definitely haven't asked this question, right?
But-
Zach, let her finish before we condemn her, all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. I haven't gone all the way with Marvel.
Okay.
I've I've rounded
You've
sevens.
done a bit of over-the-clothes
yeah,
stuff.
exactly. Yeah, some digit
Hand stuff with Marvel. Here
I've
we
done
go.
hand stuff with Marvel. I couldn't tell you which. I've seen Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Marvel film.
Which Spider-Man? It is,
The
yes.
first two.
But which first two? The ones from like the early
Toby.
2000s. Yep,
What do you mean? Which first two?
So there was the ones with Tobey Maguire, so
Yeah.
they did 3 of those, and then they did 2 with Andrew Garfield,
and
and then they've done
No.
3 with Tom Holland.
no, I haven't seen any of them.
And the third one actually had Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in it also.
Okay, no, Toby.
Okay, yes.
Toby and Kirsten Dunst.
They're the best 2, I think.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, I've
They
seen
are,
two.
yeah.
I've seen those two. I was about to say, so I can say comfortably that I like, because you just mentioned all those TV shows. I don't know where to start. Similarly with Star Trek, right? I
Yep.
don't know where to start. The world is so big. What should I, as someone who isn't like, because I'd like to watch a couple of them because I'd like to know what people are talking about when they
Right.
come up. Which ones should I start with?
Can I, before you start,
Please.
have you watched much Star Trek?
Yes.
We're going to make her watch all the Ferengi episodes.
Okay, terrific.
Diving straight into
All
the
right.
deep end. Thought that was
So
funny.
no other context, just like
Just
here's a quark
anything-
episode.
yeah, anything
Here's a
set on
Nog-themed
Ferengi.
episode. Yeah, all right. Okay.
No, not the Nog ones are a little too good.
Okay.
Only the Ferengana.
Okay, all right.
The Wallace, what's his name?
And also, I'll be too sad if she doesn't like the whole Nog recovering from the war injuries.
uh-huh.
That'll break my heart.
Okay.
Whereas she can go for the Wallace Shawn Ferengana stuff.
Yeah.
So that's
Anyway,
coming.
So
Okay.
that's what I'm doing, but I think take her question seriously. Don't let
I'm
me.
ready
No,
to
because
go.
genuinely, I
Yep.
don't. It's just. It's kind of like I've said this before, like the OC. I never watched an episode of the OC.
Yep.
It just kind of bypassed.
you?
No, never.
Mish, you would have a great time.
Well,
with
no,
this,
but the thing is, I could probably get into the Marvel universe. I just, it bypassed my life, and now it's very overwhelming. Truly, for
absolutely.
someone who is not in it,
Uh-huh.
I don't understand it. If you said name all the Fantastic Four, is that Marvel? Yeah.
Yes.
I could. Jessica Alba is all I know. Like,
Interesting.
right? That's all. I don't know
But it's
anything.
not Jessica Alba anymore. Now it's
Vanessa
Queen-
Kirby.
It's Princess Margaret.
Is X-Men Marvel?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I've seen the first X-Men.
But
Yep. But it's not. It's a whole thing. It's they. What happened is in the
It's good.
90s, Marvel hasn't always been this like $1 billion behemoth. Like they've spent most of their existence going bankrupt and then sort of slowly clawing their way back. And so in the 90s, they licensed out a bunch of characters to have movies made, usually at rock bottom prices. There's a movie called Blade with Wesley Snipes.
I've not
this
seen it,
vampire hunter.
but yep.
But they licensed
That's
that out.
Marvel?
That's Marvel, yeah. So
you'd
they
love the second one.
they licensed that out for like $70,000, and then it made hundreds of millions of dollars, and they got none of that back.
Really? Wow.
So, but they licensed out the X-Men, and so basically, a lot of other companies own these characters in perpetuity in the movies. So when Marvel needs to use them in their movies, they have to like license them back. They have to license Spider-Man back from Sony because they licensed Spider-Man out to Sony in like the late 90s.
Like a car.
Yeah, kind of like a car.
Yeah.
But like a rent control. So
Okay.
So basically, the rule is
Like a timeshare.
Like a timeshare.
like a timeshare.
Okay.
But you have
all right,
to
now
use
you're
it.
speaking my language.
So they lose it because they were
Like
like,
a timeshare on the Gold
Yeah,
Coast.
I don't know anything about Marvel, but when it comes to timeshare property,
that's
I'm
right.
your girl.
So they have to. The reason why there's been so many Spider-Mans is they have to make a Spider-Man movie every.
Less so with Spider-Man, but certainly the Fantastic Four.
Oh, so Spider-Man is less restricted. By
yeah,
this.
I mean, Spider-Man's like a genuine money spinner, so I think Sony would make those regardless.
Yes, yeah.
But the Fox,
Fantastic.
yeah, Fox licensed out the Fantastic Four, and they lose the rights if they don't make it one every once in a while.
So that's why they would just churn them out.
So like
and
kind of like how
reimagine
the
them.
Queen had to go to all of the countries.
It's exactly like that.
Okay.
To
you
go to her
lose it.
various timeshares. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And that's
yeah.
why, like-
you have to go to the
Yeah.
timeshare to be a part of the
That's
timeshare.
exactly. But
I
then
understand.
Disney bought 20th Century Fox, so then they don't have to do that anymore.
Okay.
Which is why there's a new Fantastic Four movie now.
Is there?
Yes.
Yeah, it just came out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Pedro Pascal.
love him.
Yeah.
He's in it.
Okay, now you speak a bit of Mish.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
get
yeah.
it. You're getting it. So which ones do I start with?
Thank you for getting back on track.
Yeah.
You should watch Iron Man, the first one, from
Yeah.
2008.
Okay.
See, the thing about them is, and you should watch. So the Marvel movies operate in phases. There's the phase one, and then there's a sort of a big. They all get together, and there's a big action thing where they all have to team up to save the world.
What's
and
that
then
one called?
The Avengers.
Okay.
And then they have to sort of then there's another phase starts. But over the years, I think the movies. Visual quality and like writing quality has sort of declined, and the idea of the phases has sort of become more vague. Like the first couple of phases, you're like, oh, the goal is obviously there's a villain and they want to do this and they want to gather all these artifacts or what have you. But by the most recent ones, they're going, see, Marvel Phase 5 has ended, and we're like, what was that? What happened? But the first phase, so 2008, Iron Man 2, Thor, the first Captain America movie, I think they are the best written. I think they are, the visual effects are the best because they really had to work at it. Because this was an era where comic book superhero movies were still kind of embarrassing. And it was also an era where Marvel really had to make these work, because if they didn't, if these weren't successful, this was sort of yet another end for them. They were going to go bankrupt again.
They had to make it appeal to the masses.
So everything looks really good. Like a lot of visual effect shots. You could look at it and go, did they really build that Iron Man suit? Like, it looks so real. Every texture on it looks incredible. And I think like all the interpersonal dynamics are really good, and I think the plots mostly hold up and that sort of stuff.
Do you think there was also they had, when you look at the directors, it's was it Joe Dante? Who did
Captain America? It was he did The Rocketeer. He did Joe Johnston. He did a lot. So the first Captain America movie is set in the 40s for the most part, and it's directed by Joe Johnston, who's done a bunch of kind of period pieces from that era, and everything looks really sort of authentic. And
first Iron Man is Jon Favreau, who did Chef.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Kenneth Branagh directed the first Thor movie.
What?
Yeah.
And
who's Thor?
Chris Hemsworth.
That's right. Okay.
But it
I always get Thor and Troy mixed up.
Oh yes.
It felt like in those early days, it felt like it was still the directors had a say.
Yes, yeah.
And there was a sense of aesthetic difference between the films.
Absolutely. But then what happened, I think, is that those first few were, successful enough to keep the universe going, and then they went, well, if those ones were successful, that's the formula now. And then the formula kept sort of solidified and kept narrowing to the point where it was like, okay, well, the structure of the movie is this, and you have this character and he's got these flaws, and then something happens, and then they get into a dilemma, and then they gain their powers, and then blah blah blah, and then it's the same movie a bunch of times over and over again.
What did you think of Superman?
I liked it.
Yeah, does it give you hope for DC?
You liked that, didn't you?
I liked it. Yeah,
you liked the romance in that.
I thought, here's what I loved. So I think that there was an element of like too many characters personally, and too many characters given that should have just. And I understand that there's going to be a lot of characters in a film, but just were given a bit too much primacy, because I thought I loved the themes and I loved the central characters. And the thing I loved was movies like this, so often now they cast, because they're going to be in 7 movies, they cast the superhero and then everyone else is like a second thought. And also there's probably an element of like, maybe save them if they're going to maybe play someone down the line. So there's a bit of, not Moneyball, but like, I don't know. I kind of felt like, no shade if you're listening, Pedro, but Fantastic Four felt like 4 people that never did a screen test. Like,
interesting, okay.
They had a bit of it, but there wasn't that compared to Superman, where he did, and I know that he had about 4 or 5 Clark Kents, and he had about 4 or 5 Lois Lanes, and he did chemistry reads with all of them to sort of see not just who's the best Clark Kent, who's the best Clark and Lois.
Lois.
Yeah.
And their chemistry. It was just that. It's like I haven't seen casting based on chemistry
since Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher.
Absolutely. A couple of thoughts. Also, the first few Marvel movies are also the sexiest Marvel movies. Yes. I think the kind of
Nick, you get me.
Kind of romance, like that's. I think that as they move forward, they're like, well, we don't have time for this, or we don't, we can't. So like the first few are kind of the sexiest, and they've got like some romance.
Like which ones?
Like Iron Man, it's got Robert Downey Jr. and Gwyneth Paltrow, and then Captain America has Chris Evans and
Winter Soldier.
Exactly. Well, yeah.
So wait, Captain America's a good one to watch?
I think the first few. Yeah, you can probably skip Iron Man too. It's fine.
I'm going to watch Iron Man. Believe me, I really want to be able to understand you.
Iron Man is crazy, right? Iron Man is so interesting because Iron Man, I rewatched it recently. I watched half of it. I got to finish it. But it's 2 things that blew me away is how much it's set in our world. Like there's a realness to it.
Yeah.
Really interesting, and like a bit of a political message to it that, but also like, there's a sense of, with Iron Man, like, it's so interesting how many of the ingredients of what people don't like about Marvel now are set up in that film.
Well, that's the solidifying of the of the
this idea of like, so
because he's quite quippy. A little bit of a diversion from the comic book character. He's more kind of,
What's Robert Downey Jr.?
He's also please correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm sure I am, but isn't Iron Man also the only one that's like, oh, by the way, I'm Iron Man?
Yeah, so that was that's a real kind of diversion from the comic books in a lot of ways, because in the Marvel universe, in the comic book universe, most of those characters have a secret identity.
Am I right in saying that's what the Civil War was about? That was
the Civil War was about. But in this one, that they sort of maybe even riffed it on the day. They're just like, he's going to announce he's Iron Man, and everybody else. Because in the comic books, Iron Man's his bodyguard. He works for Stark Industries as this Tony Stark, this CEO's bodyguard, but really it's just him in the suit.
Yeah.
And then that going forward, they're basically like, yeah, everybody's a public figure, everybody's kind of a celebrity.
And also putting Robert Downey Jr. in that role he's just so charming.
Yeah.
And so lovely. Like, what a lovely.
But I mean, that was a big risk at the time. He'd just done Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Yeah, he was uninsurable.
Really?
It's kind of legal issues and some drug issues.
All of that stuff. Was that long ago, really?
Yeah.
So that was...
Yeah, Hollywood really forgave. He's so charming that Hollywood forgave him so much.
Well, lucky there was no one recording during some of the stuff, I think. He did Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. That was his first sort of step.
I love that movie.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, and I think that was the step, and then they took a big swing with...
We chatted about this recently, about on-screen chemistry. The chemistry between Robert Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer in that film is out of this world. Like, who would have thought?
And that's what it's all about, is good chemistry. It's also like, so they were, you'd know more of the history, and I'd love you to correct me. It's that like the Favreau, you've got someone who's really good at riffing. In fact, doesn't like locking down lines. That's why he dropped out of Gravity, was because he was like, I don't want to be told exactly what to do exactly when. Like, he likes riffing in Robert Downey Jr. Favreau is a writer-director, so can write on the fly and has done comedies and has done indie films, so is able to work in that capacity. They didn't have a final script when they started shooting.
Yeah.
But they happened to have two freaks, but two people that just, like, there's very few filmmakers that, Doug Liman works well in this environment. Peter Jackson does up until The Hobbit, where this is actually beneficial to their process, that they were writing in the morning. They were writing in the morning, shooting that day. Yeah. And because you've got these people that it works for. And it's so interesting because you look at something like that and you go, thank God they made a great movie.
Yeah. It's so cohesive, but really it was just...
But then what Marvel did is they were like, that's our process.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Is that fair?
That is fair. And some of the reason these Thunderbolts and, et cetera, cost $300 million is because Marvel just does stuff on the fly, and then they go, we'll fix it in post. We'll film this scene however, and then we need a character to shoot a giant laser. Let's go to the visual effects guys and say, ordinarily they'd have 3 months to draw the giant laser, but then day one they draw the giant laser, and then Marvel goes, not quite right. Can you do it in a different color? Not quite right. Can you do it a different, width, whatever it is? And then they just keep going, and then sometimes the special effects aren't locked down till like 2 weeks before the movie comes out. So a lot of the effects now look quite fake, and
the effects are better 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a really fascinating thing. Like, even I find like it's what was that? There's a thing about like with they call it pixel fucking. That's what they call it? It's where even like where the executives like, can we change that one pixel?
Yeah.
But I also find it really interesting as well, this idea of like, so they do like extensive reshoots, don't they?
Yes.
And I mean, most Hollywood movies do now.
Yeah. But whenever Marvel announces it, people are like, whoa,
they do like
what are they?
60 days.
Yeah, something crazy, yeah.
And it's what's really interesting, I think, as a viewer, but also as someone who's made one TV show. It didn't even make it. It was just around while other people did. But I think part of you obviously reshoots would be really beneficial for something like that, and voiceover and all that. But part of the editing process is problem solving.
Yes,
And if you've got these reshoots scheduled in, you can kind of put off the problem solving. You can be shooting on the day and go, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And then you can be in the edit and go, we'll reshoot it, rather than go, what can we do with what we've got?
Yeah, we've got infinite money here, so...
And
Or just kick the can down the road.
It's a really interesting thing, I think.
It's astounding in a way that they got as far as they did. That they sort of reshaped the movie industry, and everything bent around it, and everybody went, well, what property do we have we can turn into a superhero property, because that is so hot right now. But the fact that so much of it, at the start was accidental and sheer chance that it turned out so good that it was, and then it's just sort of the wheels have slowly been falling off over.
Do you think they're turning it around? They're going to turn it around? What are your thoughts on? Sorry, we always do this. We just grill you on Marvel.
I think that
I do feel like this is very similar to the last time you came in. We're
Maybe.
just like, talk to us about Marvel. I don't get it.
But then we'll talk about DC a bit as well.
we'll talk about DC a bit. I think that it's going to become like westerns, or like where they'll still make some, and the good ones will be memorable.
Well, you hope, but it just becomes like an ode to the genre.
Yeah,
yeah. That's so interesting.
How do you feel as a comic book guy? How do you feel about that?
I'm happy with that. I would rather 2 really good ones a year as opposed to 5 a year that are pretty average, and people go, well, there's another average one, another nail in the coffin.
What's
Marvel.
the next one? The next big one?
What is the next big one?
Supergirl's the next one I'm excited for.
Who's Supergirl?
Millie Alcock. She's Australian.
Hey!
Yeah.
Okay, great. Love that.
I think she'll be fun.
Yeah, I don't know what the next Marvel one is, and see, maybe that's the problem. Maybe I'm not fired up
there was
for the next
Fantastic Four.
It's fantastic. It'll be. There is another Spider-Man movie coming out.
Of course, because they have to keep making
They're
them.
doing. Is
it a new Spider-Man?
No, it's still Tom Holland.
Oh, welcome back, Tom.
Yeah, that's right.
Welcome back, Tom.
So is it, and Zendaya is
Zendaya,
his,
yeah.
Okay.
MJ.
And they're in love in real life.
They
Isn't that
are
beautiful?
Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
And Gory Rice, another Australian.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Hey.
yeah.
Hey, little pivot from Marvel. Let's just play a quick round of what's something cool you watched this week.
What's something cool you watched this week with Mish, Zach, and Nick?
Great. Do you want me to go first?
Please.
Yeah.
All right.
And it doesn't have to be this week. It's
Yeah,
since
no,
the last
yeah.
time
You
you
can
were on.
say anything that you want.
Oh wow, God.
Yeah.
I watched the entire Marvel saga. I watched 3.5 phases of Marvel movies.
So I could say a whole bunch of Netflix documentaries that I've watched, miniseries and stuff. I'm not going to. I could say Love Con Revenge, which is a really interesting Netflix little miniseries that's come out about catching love frauds. Who,
Oh, right. Okay, yep.
Yeah, a bit of fun. But I won't. I will say that I put this on while I cleaned my house.
Hey.
And I thoroughly enjoyed having it in the background and found myself stopping because I watched this a lot when I was younger, when it first came out. I watched Frida.
Hey,
okay.
Frida.
So Salma Hayek's Frida.
Yeah.
It is directed by Julie Taymor.
Yeah.
2002. And I think it is such a beautiful film. One of those perfect castings, not made with a hell of a lot of money. And a lot of the money was Salma Hayek's. She put a lot of herself into this film. She produced it as well. And I think I have the biggest crush on Alfred Molina.
Oh,
yeah.
Dr. Octopus.
Yes.
Dr. Octopus.
Spider-Man 2.
Bringing it back.
That's right.
Bringing it back.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
And
I do.
Spider-Man No Way Home.
Oh, he's in that as well, yeah.
there you go.
CGI
Really?
de-aged Molina.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I love Alfred Molina in
Yep.
this as well. I think him and Salma Hayek, and I think it's like a proper, really beautiful love story. And I don't say beautiful love story because it's like the way I'd love to see my life work out, because no, it's very tragic. But I just think it's a really beautiful film. Visually, like a feast.
Julie Taymor's incredible.
Yeah. Like a proper feast of a movie. And like, it's got its flaws, but I think that it is such a lovely film. And it was, fun fact, my favorite, one of my, like, that and Girl Interrupted were like my favorite movies in high school.
I've only watched Frida once. I think I've talked about this on the podcast. I watched it once when I was maybe like, I was at uni, so I was 19, 20. I was not in the year 1920. I was not in uni then. But when I was 19 or 20, and I remember watching it, my memory of this film, I don't remember any details except the like artwork, recreations of the artwork. But my memory of the film was thinking, oh, that's quite a conventional, contained little story. And I imagine watching it older, there's a lot of themes there that I wasn't picking up on at 20. But like, I remember thinking it's a very contained little story. It was not as like experimental as I was as expecting. and then walking away and it hit me like 2 hours later. It's one of the clearest examples of like, for me, of a movie. It was one of those big learning moments for me of like, don't lock down your opinion on a film straight afterwards, because it was like 2 hours later I was like, fuck, that's a beautiful movie.
Yeah,
like,
truly.
Luckily, you didn't have internet back then. And
yeah, I would have already done the letterbox.
already done the letterbox. Yeah,
Melina.
It's a pretty small movie. Yeah.
What about you, Nick? What's something cool you watched?
I watched the movie Eddington, which is the
I haven't seen it
most
yet.
recent Ari Aster film, which is set right in the pocket of COVID. So it's set in May of 2020 in a town called Eddington in New Mexico. And it's about this sort of rivalry between the town sheriff and the mayor. So it's Joaquin Phoenix and Pedro Pascal.
Hey, you love
and
Pedro Pascal.
I like Joaquin Phoenix.
It's a dark movie. It's a dark comedy, and it gets darker and weirder as it goes. And it's
I really want to see
I enjoyed it a lot, but it did bring back sort of lockdown flashbacks and of people having to stand 6 feet apart and mask mandates. And that's, part of the reason everything falls apart in this, because it's just people. It's people, the cracks forming in people's psyche as the world progresses in that direction.
Is it like, I feel like that's funny, like there's an element of like, you're not ready to watch that yet?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's one of the few pieces of media in the last few years that's even addressed it, because we're all the rest of it's like, no, it didn't happen. There's a season of a sitcom called Superstore, I think, that happened during COVID, and they all wear masks.
Wow.
But beyond that, I can't really think of much.
It truly does feel like during that lockdown period, we went from talking about 90% of like what we spoke about was this lockdown to just zero conversation about it. I just want to make a very quick comment on COVID lockdowns. I feel like that when I'm 100 years old and I think back to that, back in my day I had with COVID lockdown, for me, the big like memory, because like the whole thing was like obviously fucked, but
No, I thought it was cool.
I actually had a pretty good time. Watched a lot of film. No, it was the going outside finally and being at crosswalks, like waiting for the green man to walk, and everyone standing really far away from each other, and it just being that visual of like everyone is so spread, and no one spoke, and everyone was so spread out. Fucking bizarre.
I heard once 7 years. I think it was Actor Prepares. Stanislavski said that. He was like, don't call on a memory, because that was like the whole acting thing. The method is like calling on memories.
Okay.
Don't call on a memory less than 7 years ago, because you haven't processed it yet.
Oh, interesting.
And I've heard it as well from writers. I think 7 years is the number the guy that did The Crown said as well, which is like, we haven't processed something. And I don't know why that's the number.
Because he could trademark it.
Yeah. But it's that idea of like, we haven't processed a thing yet.
Yeah,
culturally, collectively, internally, we haven't processed it enough. So we don't have the ability to turn it into a story yet.
Yeah, right.
I think that's interesting, because we're hitting 5 years now. So we're probably going to see more stories.
Yeah, no, that's probably true.
And maybe eventually someone's going to kind of, like, this feels like the first step, like the first arrow in the, like, But like, who's going to really? We probably need a few years, but also we might just be like, whatever.
As far as I'm concerned, never even happened.
Moving on.
I'm going to try to watch some Robert Redford movies this week, because he did pass away.
So this is he just for the listener, because this is not coming out for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I'm just hearing about it now. The first Robert Redford movie I ever saw was called Sneakers. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Oh, absolutely.
Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's from the early 90s. It's like a tech heist caper movie.
Okay.
And like pre-internet. And it's Redford, Dan Aykroyd, Ben Kingsley, Sidney Poitier, David Strathairn. And it's about it. Redford plays like this former sort of hacker guy who had to change his identity, but then he tests security systems. Like, he's got a team that goes in and then he gets in some hot water. But it's a great cast, and it's funny, and it's really, really good.
I really want to.
After that, you should watch The Horse Whisperer.
Oh yes,
starring Robert Redford
and Scarlett Johansson. Black Widow in the Marvel universe.
Hey, look, it always comes back.
Well, it's impossible not to do it now.
They're in everything.
Yeah.
I really want to rewatch Butch Cassidy.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Oh, I haven't
one
seen that since I was
that's
a
one
kid.
I haven't seen
That was
in a
like
long
typical.
time.
Let's bring it back to my mum. Let's go all the way back to the start. That was my mum's big crush, was Robert Redford circa Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Family.
And as a kid, I didn't get it. And then I looked at pictures recently. I was just like, holy shit.
Well, that
that is a pair of
Games.
beautiful men.
Yeah.
Spy Games was Redford and Brad Pitt, and everyone always said that they could play father and son. And when you look at them at their prime, both of them were
Gorgeous.
in a very
And
similar
Robert Redford
way.
had great comedy chops as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was. I talked about this on my podcast that he didn't have to be as good an actor, and with the timing that he did, considering how good looking he was,
100%.
he could have just been a guy who showed up and said some lines and left.
Yeah.
so
But he was
funny.
like, no, I'm going to commit to actually.
Yeah, it's
being
so
a good
annoying
actor.
when good-looking people are talented. as well.
Yeah,
I know.
It really gives me the shits.
And nice about it. That's the
I had a
trio.
theory that I developed recently with a friend where I was like, a comedian can be attractive, but the comedy has to be the thing getting them over the line
Yeah.
to attractive.
Yeah.
Like if they weren't funny, they shouldn't be attractive.
Yes.
You can't be attractive without the funny.
Yeah.
Like you can get if you're like, what's attractive? Say what's the number that say 1. Say it's just like a 1 minus 1 is unattractive.
Okay.
Plus 1. You can't be. You got to be like you got to be under.
What's something cool you watched this week, Zach?
Mish, I'm so sorry. I'm on tour, and when I'm on tour, all I watch is Star Trek, and so I have been watching Star Trek Voyager.
Interesting.
And
Janeway.
Janeway.
It is Janeway, yeah.
That's the only thing I know.
So
I don't.
Janeway-
If you showed me a photo, I couldn't tell you who Janeway is.
You'd love Janeway. You would actually love Janeway. She's what's the name of the actress? She's got like the actress reminds me of Katharine Hepburn.
She's in Orange is the New Black. What's her
Oh
name?
yeah.
We should know this.
I should know it because that's all I've
Who
been
is she
watching.
in Orange is the New Black? The cook?
Maybe.
I'll find her. Star Trek Voyager. Do it a
name
little good.
is-
Can we pull that up?
Intern, should we bring that
Can we
up?
pull that up?
Patty!
Her name is
Kate Mulgrew.
Kate Mulgrew.
And she's wonderful. It's so I just hit old Star Trek, 90s Star Trek. I would say this is a rule, but I don't think it was really true of like Deep Space Nine just hits the ground running, I think.
Yeah,
but it takes about a season to really find its feet.
I think of that era, Deep Space Nine is my favourite.
I agree. It's incredibly written, like incredibly written.
Because you wouldn't
show.
think so, Mish, because they're on a space station.
Yeah,
they're
that's
not
wild.
going anywhere, but the other guys are always going places. But all the adventure comes to them.
And it forces them, I think, to think and like
They
the
did get a
moral-
spaceship in
Oh, great.
later seasons.
They do get a spaceship.
They got the Defiant, the USS Defiant.
Okay.
And Commander Sisko becomes a captain.
Yeah.
All right.
In season 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he doesn't have to. And
They need
he's
to fight the
interesting.
Dominion.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
cool.
they need to
Because
battle
he's
the
not
Dominion.
like, the every other leader captain has been based on like Horatio Hornblower.
Horatio Hornblower, yeah.
They've been whereas Cisco's more rough around the edges. He's being sent.
Cisco?
Captain
Cisco's
Sisko.
in Star Trek?
What?
Cisco is on Star Trek.
Thong song. That's where
Yeah.
Mish is going there.
Where's that?
Different spelling.
Okay, got you.
All right.
Cisco, the singer of Thong Song and Unleash the Dragon.
Oh, no. Captain Sisko.
Unleash the Dragon, which, if you ask me,
Commander
is
Sisko.
a better song than Thong Song. But Thong Song's iconic. Go on.
So Kate Mulgrew.
Zach just looked at me like he hated me.
Kate Mulgrew. So it's just hit its stride. I got to season 3, took a couple of seasons, Voyager, I found. But I feel it now. I feel like I get what they're going for. Kate Mulgrew is so wonderful as a captain. She's kind of fun. She's got like a so every captain is very aspirational.
Yeah, of course.
Whereas she's got this like it's a
Working.
different kind of leader. Whereas she's someone that can have a laugh with their crew, and I love to see that. Someone that's like, like that kind of boss.
Yeah.
It's like
Fun boss.
fun boss, but also we'll lock it down. And
The ideal boss.
Yeah, and then we just got the Borg. Mish, let me tell you about the Borg.
That's okay.
No, well, I mean, you talked about your thing, and
Yeah, no, please. I'm just saying you don't
Yeah.
have to, but
but
you can.
I'd like
You got a
to.
moment for the
Please.
Thong
Okay.
song and Unleash the Dragon.
Yeah, cool.
let
To be
me
honest
talk
with you,
about the
not a
Borg.
big enough moment, but that's
We
fine.
can talk about the Thong Song some more, and then I'll talk about the Borg.
No, talk about the Borg.
So, what do you know about the Borg?
I used to work with a man named Thomas Borg.
Well, no, he wouldn't. And did he use like singular pronouns? Did he say I?
Did he ever say he was going to assimilate you?
No, not at all.
And did he say
it was mostly like, I met my KPI today.
So I met my KPI.
That's interesting.
He wouldn't have been a Borg.
Would he say Borg met his KPI?
No, they say we.
Maybe it's a 7 of 9 situation. He escaped the Borg collective and now he's an individual.
Yes, perhaps.
Yeah.
So the Borg, Mish, let me explain the Borg to you.
Please.
The Borg assimilate people and cultures.
Who plays the Borg?
Well, I mean, that's the question. Everyone plays the Borg.
So I'm the Borg?
No,
not currently. But if you encountered the Borg, you would very quickly become
If the Borg
Mish of
got
the
to
Borg.
Earth now with our current technology, they would assimilate.
Are they
us like
evil?
this. Oh yes.
Okay, yeah, it sounds evil.
But basically,
I don't think Thomas Borg was evil. He was a very nice guy.
So they basically turn every creature, every person, like humanoid race that they encounter, they assimilate their technology and their minds, and they turn them into Borg. They turn them into cyborgs, and all their minds are connected. So they say we, and they all operate as one collective mind. And it's about like the destruction of individualism, and it's about assimilation. That's what they say. We will assimilate you. It's about like, it's such a wonderful, because you could argue the Federation does that.
Oh, yes.
They assimilate. And that's what I think they've started to explore really well in Voyager. The idea of the Federation is very egalitarian. That it has lots of cultures. They're all working together. But the Borg, Mish, they don't. But what's interesting about the Federation is that it does that, but it still respects individualism.
That's true.
And that balance between individualism and collectivism. People talk about Star Trek being a paean of collectivism, but in fact, there's also a celebration of the will of the individual and the drive of the individual, and it's a very fascinating thing. Well, what do you have any questions about the Borg, Mish?
If your question is what do their spaceships look like, big cubes.
A big cube.
Cube.
Why cubes?
Because it's efficient. They don't need to build for aesthetic purposes.
Oh, okay. So they're just there to do a job.
Just there to do.
Well,
the job,
they assimilate you.
Yes.
So what would happen?
I heard that. I'm saying they're just there to do their job.
So, Mish, if you got assimilated by the Borg, everything you know, now all the Borg know.
So they own my brain.
That your brain becomes their brain, and it's so
it's like
overwhelming.
Scientology
but collectively. So you
do they own my money?
Yeah,
I suppose, but I don't think they would have any need for money.
And the Federation doesn't
If I
have
had
money.
children, would they own my children?
If they assimilated your children.
Okay.
But if your children weren't there, they'd assimilate them later.
Do they sell off my information?
No, they have it.
Yeah, but what do they do with it?
Just have it. They want to. I guess they want to become like the dominant species in the universe. I guess they're just building for survival essentially.
So say you and I connected our brains.
Yep.
So we had one brain connected via Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
What would happen?
It would be really camp.
But we would say it would be fun.
It would be fun.
The TikTok dances would be incredible.
Yeah, it would be so
synchronized.
So if we did that, you'd lose your individual. We'd become one thing. But what if you did that with 1 billion people, 10 billion people?
Wow.
If one of those people then got folded in, they would not be able to fight it. They would just become that thing. And what if you have top secret? What if you know the location? What if you're Jean-Luc Picard? You know the location of all of the starships.
That'd be full on.
What would they be able to do then?
Be able to locate all the
and
ships.
Destroy them, assimilate more people.
Yeah.
That would have quite a psychological impact.
Oh, I would be traumatized from that experience.
Well, I've got 3 great episodes of Star Trek Next Generation for you.
Phenomenal. Okay, and on that happy note, what are we watching, Zach, for our 6th film in the top 8 most Leguizamo-y...
Best and most Leguizamo-y.
Thank you. I still don't know the name of the title for Leguizamo-rama on Thursday's episode.
So, very exciting one. Drum roll, please. We are watching Super Mario Bros. 1993.
Hell yeah.
All right.
We'll see you all on Thursday to watch Super Mario Bros. 1993. Nick, where can people follow you?
Oh, you can listen to my podcast. It's called The Weekly Planet. You can follow me on some socials.
Great.
Hell yeah.
It's all a wasteland.
Are you excited to talk about Super Mario Bros. On Thursday?
I am very excited to talk about it.
Excited.
This is good. All right. See you,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye, everybody.
The Mish and Zach Podcast is recorded on the lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. We believe that our collective culture will never reach its full potential until we embrace the history and the truth of the oldest cultures of this land.